Hello Sagittarius, this is your May 2016 horoscope with me, Lada from Astrolada.com, for anyone who has their ascendant, sun or moon in Sagittarius. And now let's see what May brings you. Well, there is a Grand Trine and a lot of trines, like a beautiful figure, triangular, equilateral triangle that's forming in the sky, and it's triggering your material, financial, and career houses. They're all connected, as we call it, the earth houses. They're connected to practical matters. They're connected to solving practical matters. And because, and to career, and to money, and to your work as well, to duties and responsibilities, to fixing things of a tangible nature. And because they're forming lots of trines, this beautiful trine, Grand Trine as we call it, this is very healing and very supportive energy. So kind of things will flow through those three areas, and you'll be able to improve on some areas of your life in a big way, and those particular areas in a big way, and you'll receive support there in regards to your work, in regards to your duties, in regards to your career, in regards to your finances as well. And especially, there is a conglomeration in May in your 6th house, which is not the easiest of houses in astrology. It is connected to fixing mistakes. It has the energy of Virgo, kind of making us more picky, making us more perfectionist, making us more hardcore towards ourselves and towards others, somehow more perfectionist, and making us fuss over details. So you might feel this inclination that you're more, I wouldn't say petty, because this is not the nature of Sagittarius, but that you're getting more into the details, that you're getting more frustrated with small things, and that you want to perfect those small things, and that you cannot just, and it does not allow you to just leave things half finished or half asked. It wants you to do them perfectly, like a Virgo do them. This is the 6th house, that all this energy, all those three planets, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, are triggering there. And often it can bring more work to a person, more duties, responsibilities. So if you're busy at work, you might get some extra, I would say, project or something. But again, remember that there is support from the other planets in earth signs. So, for example, Jupiter is in your 10th house. You can receive support from authority figures, and this can improve your social status, whatever you're working on, something behind the scenes, something that you have to put extra efforts to dot the I's and cross the E's, whatever, how it's called, I'm not sure if this is the right expression. But this will pay off, especially after Mercury turns direct towards the 28th, towards the end of May, basically, the 23rd of May. Because before that, while Mercury is moving retrograde, it's like you have to pay a lot of attention to those small things and to correct some mistakes that happen. And some of you might be fixing something, working on some project, perfecting its details, for example. Some of you might be given some projects at work that are very detailed, demanding, or that some mistake came and you come back and you have to correct it. In the work process, something that you have to re-examine and improve on. This is what Mercury retrograde does. These are not bad things. They can be a bit frustrating when you have to redo something or when you have to restructure something. And the 6th house is about how efficient we're at our work. What work processes do we use, or what daily routines and activities we use. Even if you're not working, you have daily duties and routines and responsibilities. Whether you're a mother, stay at home, whether you're a student. This is all this 6th house. That's why we don't like the 6th house, because it's all those daily duties and responsibilities and the hard work we have to do. But we have to do it. Without it, we'll just stop functioning. Our body will start falling apart without our health routines as well. 6th house rules those health routines. So Mercury retrograde and all those other planets there put the focus on you re-examining such routines, maybe making them more effective. Maybe your health might give you signals that the way you're living, the daily routines you're having are not as productive as or as efficient or as healthy as they should be. Or maybe the way you're doing your work, you're fussing about over, you're maybe not delegating your time properly. So Mercury will ask you to re-examine that and to change it, to change something. And by the end of this process, by the beginning of June, you'll have a way more efficient I would say, working system. You'd have done a lot of things that you have been postponing for a while that will come from the past, actually, in May, even starting from the end of April, things that you've been postponing, they'll come for you to complete them. That's what a retrograde Mercury will do, to fix them, to complete them, to end, to do some things like that. And again, it can be at work, it can be in your daily life and routines and responsibilities. And it can feel a little bit burdensome, but after that, when Mercury moves direct, you feel like, I'm so glad I got so much work done. I'm so glad I fixed that problem. I'm so glad, okay, this project, I had to correct it, or I had to work extra hard, but actually this is good for my social standing, or this is so good now for the way the project turned out is so much better than initially planned, Or you'd have changed something in your health. I've seen people, when there is a retrograde planet in the 6th house, start thinking and reading a lot and researching, especially Mercury retrograde, which is thinking, reading, communicating about health, about nutrition, about workout routines. So, and getting the mind triggered in that direction is the first step. And the sun also will give you initiative also to make those changes in that direction from the 6th house. And Venus will make it more pleasurable. It will bring you more satisfaction from the whole process of, changing those habits, health or work habits and routines, So at the end of the process, again, I say a retrograde planet requires 3 times more efforts and more willpower from us, but it gives 3 times longer lasting and better results, more enduring results, more satisfying results eventually. So we should not bitch and moan. Whatever things we have to correct, be grateful, because after that you'll be, I'm so glad I did this, And you might be more thinking and talking about those things again, as I said. And 6th house is your work environment as well. So there might be something changing there, some restructuring, some revising of how you do things, or how the structure of that work or those duties and responsibilities are. And sometimes when the 6th house people, is triggered with Mercury retrograde, people, have their routine of doing something like this always, and waking up and doing this, and knowing that they go to the office and they'll have those amounts of duties to do or whatever. But when Mercury is retrograde in the 3rd house, kind of be prepared for surprises, and you have to adapt to those routine restructures and changes. And again, it's teaching you flexibility, it's teaching you that things can be done in a better, more efficient way. And we always have resistance to such things initially. Me especially. I always throw hissy fits. I cry. It's like, I don't want to learn Excel. I can do it all by hand. I can do all the calculations. And then I take the time, I take a week or 2 to learn, and I'm so glad I did it. It curtailed my job from 5 hours to 20 minutes, So anyway, so this is the kind of things you can be doing. And sometimes people start wanting to clean about the house or to fix things around, because this is the 6th house energy. It's fussy. It wants to perfect things, and doing some redoing of things around. Okay, but at the end of the process, your work, you could have more stability after that when Mercury moves direct. And as I said, Jupiter is in your 10th house and is starting to move direct from around the middle of May, actually from the 9th, but it takes a bit longer to be felt. So if some things got more complicated in regards to your social status, if some things required extra efforts or got slowed down for a bit, and you had to put extra efforts and you have not been seeing the results, the moment Jupiter starts moving direct in your 10th house of career and prestige and social status and your reputation, you will be able to start moving ahead. You'll be able to start seeing the results of those efforts you've been doing. And again, I think that most likely towards the end of May, you start feeling, towards the end of May, you start feeling this change of the winds in that direction, and things starting to progress, you're starting to get results. Or if you've been trying to find a job, middle towards the end of May, you can start things starting to untangle, or giving results, or someone reaching out to you in some way, And so definitely interesting month. It's kind of focused on more practical things, but let's see. There is another powerful conjunction. 2 powerful planets in your sign, Mars and Saturn, are also retrograde in your sign, in Sagittarius. So that can be giving you a little bit more of a headache, especially those Sagittarius born the first 10 days. So basically the December born Sagittarius, the November born Sagittarius, sorry. Because Mars is retrograde in the last 8 degrees, 9 degrees. So basically the November born Sagittarius will feel it the most. And Saturn is retrograde for those born from around, or if you have your ascendant or moon in Sagittarius in the first 10 degrees, or actually I would say in the first 15, 16 degrees. So almost till the 5th, 6th of, of December, till the 7th, 8th of December. So Sagittarius from the beginning of November, from the first day of, the 22nd something of November to around the 7th, 8th of December, they'll find it more stressful period. The second, Sagittarius born in the last 15 degrees, from 16 till 30, or basically born after the 7th, 8th, after the 8th of December, they won't feel this pressure. But the other Sagittarius, they have to be prepared to have to feel it much more intensely, because Mars and Saturn are retrograde over your own sign. And Mars can, I talked in depth about this Mars and Saturn in your first house in Sagittarius in the April videos. If you want a really in-depth idea of what's happening on the material, the emotional, psychological level, go back to the April videos. I don't want to repeat myself too much because my health also has been a bit poorly and I'm a bit tired. But, with Mars retrograde and Saturn, for the first 15 days born Sagittarius, the first 15 degrees, they're going over things from the past, are coming back, retrograde planets, something that they have to work on, something that they have to correct, something that they have to improve and put extra efforts on. Retrograde planets require extra effort. But by the time they start moving direct again, Mars and Saturn, and there might be some conflicts that intensify, that it's good to, with Mars being, in your sign, Sagittarius, some struggle that you have to go upwards hill, but also your willpower increases and your willingness to put extra effort increases. And sometimes we need exactly that. This is how we build strong willpower with such situations that are more challenging. And some of you, might be going through Mars rules, operations, little accidents, arguments of sorts, or physical activity. That's the best way it can manifest. So for you, deepening some physical activity, deepening some new health routine of some sort, having a breakthrough with such a thing. But if it plays out in the other less pleasant, it can create stress, tension, Mars, even headaches sometimes, or some small injuries, or Mars rules, kind of, because especially the ascendant, sun and moon, whether it's ascendant, sun and moon in Sagittarius in the first 15 degrees, it rules our immune system, those 3 points. And whichever one of them is Mars and Saturn, they can lower somehow the immune system. So you have to be more careful towards yourself, more nurturing, don't beat yourself too hard. And you have to give yourself, to know that it's there for a reason, what's happening. Whatever test Saturn and Mars can put you through, and I talk more in depth about that in the April video, please check it. And I don't want to be negative, but it is what it is. Every time I get Mars transit, I get sick. Well, not every time, but almost, because Mars is like things that attacks us from outside, and it helps us build a strong immune system after all as well. And it helps us become more resilient, stronger, more willpowerful, and Mars is retrograde already, affecting directly my planets, and I'm sick, but I'm working and I'm persevering, and that's what, even in hardships, when we stay strong, then those planets give us, as we said, 3 times more beneficial results. And you'll look at that time in your life and you'll say, okay, there was a lot of pressure on me, everything was changing, but I had such a big breakthrough, and I'm so grateful that God gave me the strength, and I'm so grateful I went through this period because it changed my life for better. So that's what I see for you, Sagittarius. I wanted to finish on a more positive note. The second part of the Sagittarius, they'll feel predominantly the previous thing that I talked about. So thank you very much. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Astrolada on Facebook, where I give free readings with me if someone can win it, or where I do daily and weekly horoscopes written, and when I do so many updates, and when you can win also free readings with my psychics, when I announce my webinars, and when I announce, how, and I talk personally with people there. So thank you very much.